And today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about Emboss Resist cards. So buckle up, we're going to have some fun.
Hi paper crafters, welcome to another Design with Jo video. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999.
So I've already done something here with this largest rose. So I'm hoping that you can see it here. So I have stamped this with Versamark and I've embossed it with my white embossing powder. So that's the first step that you need to do whenever you are doing the Emboss Resist technique. Now you can use clear powder instead of white. I have found that it just doesn't give you as intense a look. So it is, it'll do the trick. You'll be able to see, because I know it's very hard to see that right now, but as soon as we start applying color, it's going to get a lot easier to see. But I found that white really makes it pop. So that's why I use white. But if you don't have white, you can use clear as well. So I've done that already. Now we are going to pick a set of words as well. I actually was thinking along the lines of Happy Mother's Day because that's coming up, right? That's sooner than we think. It's in about a month now, but there's also best birthday wishes, congratulations, and sending thanks. So what we're going to use today, we are going to use purple blending brush, and I'm going to use, this is just a little one. I've hardly used these little ones, but there's a use for them. So I am pulling out a sponge dauber. So the colors that I've chosen for today are Mossy Meadow, and the VI Peeps chose Highland Heather. But I'm also going to pull in a little bit of fresh freesia. So we're going to go for fresh freesia first, and we're going to start with a very light touch. So this is what you want to do in order to get any of the color off. You just want a piece of scratch paper, and you're going to go ahead and just delete that, okay? So delete that, you're just going to wipe it off. So we are going to pick up some color. We're going to start with fresh freesia, and you can see that that definitely was the color I was in. Now in this, actually let me pull it in here. So in this stamp, there are roses here, little roses, and some little buds here. And then there are leaves all the way around. So when we're using our blending brush, we want to be a little bit more careful. This is the larger one, that we are keeping our color just within. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go in with just a little bit of the fresh freesia right over where the roses are. I'm hoping that you can see that. And this is fresh freesia. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more. Now I'm going to actually turn this around. So I'm going to turn this around so that it actually agrees with the stamp set so you can see. Now I'm going to go down here as well. And I'm going to go into the buds. Pick up a little bit more. This is a nice light color. So as you start to do this is when your stamp and your image come to life. Okay, so just adding that color, you can see how quickly we get an image popping up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into the Highland Heather. Okay, so right into Highland Heather. And I'm going to go right over top, but not right in the middle. I'm going to try and go right over top. And we're just going to add a little bit more color. So you're going to see a little bit of variation happen now. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of the purple as opposed to more of that pinky purple happening. So again, you want to get all of the petals of the flower. And again, you can do this with any kind of stamp set that you have. So you want a little bit of that purple in there. Now before we get too crazy, let's go in and add some green as well. So we're going to use Mossy Meadow, which is a nice color to coordinate with the Highland Heather. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that. Whew, that's a nice dark color, isn't it? And I'm going to go wherever there are leaves. Now the thing with this is that I'm going to be cutting it out. So I'm not too worried about getting it into the white spots here. That's perfectly okay. No worries there. So go in, get a little bit of the color. Now there's a couple little buds here, so put some green in. Okay, so not a perfect science, but now what we're going to do is we are going to pick up and use our sponge dauber. So our sponge dauber, we are going to pull in and use it with some purple. So I'm going to give a little bit more intense color in the middle of the rose. A little bit more intense color. Our buds are going to be a little bit darker because they haven't unfurled yet, and they are always just a little bit darker, aren't they? We'll go ahead and give our buds a little bit more pizzazz. So you can see how this starts to come to life, right? You're adding in those colors. I don't have all of the colors in sponge daubers, but as I use them, if I don't have one, then I will add. Okay, so let's go in with a little bit. Okay, we're done with our coloring. Now, what you want to do is you need to wipe off this color. So right now, let's take a really close look at this, okay? And you can see that some of the white is dulled down. Now watch what I do. Watch what happens as soon as I take just a tissue and I wipe it off. Okay, we'll do it on this half here. Okay, immediately, you can see I picked up mostly green, but immediately it starts to pop out. And that is what you want. You want that pop to happen. So the pop is really important. So make sure you don't forget this step if you're doing it. I'm going to go in with just a teeny bit more of the Highland Heather. I could have even gone in with some not crushed curry, gorgeous grape. So now we have to cut this out. So our dies, there is one that perfectly fits around that, and that's what we're going to be cutting out. It's okay, Judy. Nobody's ever late. So let's put this on here first. Okay, so what you want is you want your number 1 for the little guy and your number 2. You're going to put in your die, your stamped image, and then you are going to place your die right around there. And then you're going to run that through, backwards, you're going to run that through your Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And this is the little one. Okay, this is the mini guy. And when you are done, what you're left with is a piece that looks pretty darn pretty. Pretty darn pretty. So if you want to know how we pick our colors sometimes, how we pick what the stamp set is, that I put it out to the VIPs, and that's a group that we have, and it doesn't cost anything to be part of that group. It's a Facebook group where there's all kinds of different ideas, where we have contests, where people share, and so the color choices for today came from the VIPs, and so did the stamp set. So we are going to work with one of the retiring embossing folders. This one is Countryside Blossoms, and it will soon be gone, and it is quite a pretty one. And it's not a 3D one. It's a sort of our regular old ones that we always used to have, and so I've already embossed that onto a piece of Highland Heather. And then we're going to take some of our herringbone ribbon. Now, one thing that I've started to do with my ribbon, I used to always put a piece of either the Seal Plus or some tear and tape and take off the backing. But what I'm doing now is I'm actually putting it down like this. I think that it just gives a better adhesion. So I'm going to pull that one over as well. I'm going to take a quick peek to make sure it looks pretty straight there, and it does. And then I'm going to put down my more tear and tape. Now, if you want that to make sure that it's not going anywhere, just give it a quick emboss. It doesn't have to be anything fancy with your bone folder. And we're not going to take that backing off. And I'm just using liquid glue because we are going to be using our dimensionals a little bit later. So I don't want to have too thick of a card. That's going to go right down on your card, and you're just going to place it in the middle. Now, another thing about using the tear and tape and not taking the backing off is that's not going to stick immediately. So if you do have to move it just that little bit, you have time to do that. And then our roses are going to go right over top, but we are going to put those on with dimensionals. So I'm going to add my dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for just a moment because we want to pull in some more detail. So what are some of the other detailed dies that we are going to use? So there are 3, 4, 5 different detailed dies in the set that comes with the stippled roses. And I made one of these, 2 of these, and 1 of these because they're just so pretty and they add lots of detail in behind our image. So here we have 2 leaves. We have another one that is smaller leaves. And then we also have this guy right here. Okay, so just to give your piece a little bit more visual interest. You can pull that down even a little bit more, maybe over here. So I'm going to pull that out, put that onto a block while you guys are thinking about whether you like that layout, and then just pull in a piece of white, and we are going to stamp that. I think I'm going to go with the Mossy Meadow. So we're just going to stamp that, ink it up, stamp it straight, and put it sort of in the middle. It's such a pretty font, isn't it? I just love that. Okay, we're going to cut that out. And there is our congratulations. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be our card. I'm going to put this one on with dimensionals as well, so I'll get those onto the back. So let's take this off for just a moment. Let's go ahead and just put some glue down. Now you could use glue dots for this, but I'm going to do it with glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto this part of the leaf. Okay, maybe right up here as well. That was a little more than I thought I was going to put, but that's okay. And I'm going to put this down. Now putting this down, there's no magic to it. So go ahead and do it. Don't agonize over this. Okay, just do it. Just like the Nike commercials say, just do it. Same with these guys. Now you could always have put adhesive backing on here, but it seems to me like a little bit of a waste because we wouldn't use the whole thing. So get that going off to the side. Now you want liquid glue here too, or your glue dot would work because it's going to go over top of the ribbon, and it's a little bit harder for it to go over top of the ribbon. Okay, and then this guy, I'm going to come way down here. And the reason why I'm coming way down now, I don't want it to be on that same diagonal, but also we have a pretty big set of words. And so I want the leaf to be underneath where the words are too. I want it to peek out from the bottom. Okay, so at this point, it's like, okay, that looks interesting. So let's take our dimensionals off. And I'll just place that over top, and you can see that we've got lots of nice white all the way around. Pat that down. We're going to put our congratulations on top as well, and we're going to place, I'm going to take, now just before I put that down, I'm going to take this one dimensional off, this one that's at the top. And the reason why is I already have this having a dimensional on it. And so I'm just going to place a little bit of glue on this instead so that it sticks to our stamped image. And then let's put our congratulations on there. Try and get it as straight as possible. So we are going to use fresh freesia. Let me pull this back over. I'm going to pull it down in here. We are just going to surround this guy. Okay, we're going to, I'm not going to put a congratulations or one right on the congratulations. I think it's fine just as it is. Put one more up here and one more to make it an odd number up here. There we go.
Thanks very much for joining me. Please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to. Also join my email list where you can get exclusive ideas from me every week. Thanks very much. Have a great paper crafting day.